I clean offices at night. Most of the time it's boring, empty desks, coffee rings, passive-aggressive notes on the fridge. Vacuum, wipe, empty bins, lock up. I listen to podcasts, try not to think about how much my back hurts, and count down the hours until my shift ends. I've done banks, dentist offices, co-working spaces, and one truly cursed gym. None of them ever handed me a separate sheet of rules for one specific floor. Until I started cleaning halcyon analytics. My name, S. Daniel. I'm 31, no degree, no savings, and one very sick dad who needs meds I can't afford if I stick to daytime pay. Night work pays more. That's how you end up in places like this. Halcyon Analytics is a glass box in the revitalized part of the city. 10 floors, mirrored windows, bad abstract art in the lobby. Their logo is a perfect white circle on a blue background. I still don't know what they actually do. Data, probably. Everyone does data now. Our company, Clean Right Services, has the contract for the building. We rotate people through the first 9 floors. The 10th floor is special. They requested a regular person for 10. Inside was a laminated sheet, front and back, stapled to the regular checklist. At the top, in bold, you must be on level 10 only between 11:00 p.m. and 3:00 a.m. Do not attempt to access level 10 outside this window. The elevator will not respond to your badge before 10:59 p.m. or after 3:01 a.m. If you find yourself on level 10 outside of these times, leave immediately via the stairwell. Do not use the elevator. 2. Never clean room 1007. You do not enter 1007. You do not knock on its door. You do not touch any trash or items placed outside of it. If a bag is left by the door, write it in the log and leave it. If the door to 1007 is standing open when you arrive, do not cross the threshold. Call your supervisor and wait in the elevator lobby with the doors closed. 3. All interior windows and glass walls must remain uncovered. Do not close blinds, slide glass partitions, or cover windows with posters, paper, or furniture. If you find any glass surface covered from the inside, note the room number and remove the obstruction. If you cannot remove it with reasonable effort, write persistent in the log and move on. 4. If you see your reflection moving out of sync with you in any glass surface, do not react. continue cleaning. Do not look back at the glass until you have counted to 30 in your head. Do not touch the glass. 5. If there is a meeting in progress on level 10 after 11, 00 p.m. If someone in the meeting asks you to bring something into the room, coffee, trash bin, chair, etc., you may leave the requested item outside the door. Do not step inside. 6. At 1:13 a.m., you will hear the fire alarm on level 10. You will not leave the floor. You will not pull the manual alarm. You will not call 911. Check the panel by the elevator. If it reads L10 sensor error, press reset and continue your work. If it reads anything else, leave by the stairwell and call your supervisor from outside the building. 7. If you hear typing coming from an empty desk cluster, you may look once. If you see a logged-in session with no one present, do not touch the keyboard or mouse. Do not read what is on the screen. Turn off the monitor if possible using the power button only. Do not shut down the computer. Note the station number in the log. 8. If you encounter a person on level 10 who is not wearing an access badge, if on review of the cameras, security reports no one visible, do not argue. Do not go back up that night. 9. At 2:00 a.m. exactly, you will stop whatever you are doing and stand in the elevator lobby. Face the elevators with your back to the glass wall. You will remain there until 2:03 a.m. Do not turn around. Do not look at your phone's front-facing camera. Do not check the security monitor. You may close your eyes if you wish. It will not help. 10. If the elevator arrives on level 10 uncalled between 2:00 a.m. and 2:03 a.m., do not enter. Let the doors open and close. Do not look inside the cabin. 11. You do not clean under the long table in conference room. You may mop around it and wipe the top, but do not extend hands, tools, or your head beneath the table. If something grabs the mop and pulls, let go. 12. If you finish level 10 before 3:00 a.m., you will wait in the elevator lobby until 3:00 a.m. You may sit in the chair by the wall. Do not lean your head against the glass. Do not leave early. Do not take the stairs before 3:00 a.m. unless instructed by your supervisor or building security. 13. If at any point you are unsure whether a situation is covered by these rules, You will call your supervisor once you are on level 9 or lower. A signature. So we got the paper instead. That's in their legal document. I thought about my dad's pill organizer and the way he stared at it like he was trying to memorize the colors before they ran out. I signed. Good, Victor said. We start there tonight. I'll walk you through the first time. After that, it's your regular Thursday gig, okay? Halcyon by day is busy and bright. People with laptops, keycard beeps, laughter by the coffee machines. At night it's echo and glass. We badged in at 10:45 p.m. Security waved us through without even glancing up from his phone. The guards don't go to 10, Victor said, as we waited for the elevator. Their cameras cover the lobby, parking, floors 1 through 9. We cleaned that floor first to kill time, as Victor put it, light vacuum, trash, wipe surfaces. Normal. At 10:59 we were back in the elevator. Victor tapped his fob again. This time he held it 3 seconds longer. The 10 button lit up. You have to catch it exact, he said, or it doesn't register. Like a game. One wall from elevator lobby to the far corner was floor-to-ceiling glass. At night, that wall doesn't show the city. You get some lights, sure, but mostly it reflects the floor behind you like a giant black mirror. Victor walked me through the route. No 1007, he said, nodding to a closed door beside a glass-walled meeting room. It looked like any other door, white, silver handle, little plaque with the number. We don't touch it. If you see trash outside, leave it. If the door's open, call me. Don't go in. You see how these blinds are up, he said. They want it that way. If they're down when you come in, you raise them. If someone complains, send them to halcyon facilities. Don't argue. Don't write jokes. They check it. Empty bins, damp cloth on desks, sweep around chair legs, the usual. At 11:30, he checked his watch. I've got to go back down, finish up 2 and 3, he said. You good up here alone? Got it. Not keyboard tapping on my cart, but that rapid-fire clatter of someone who lives in their email. I turned. The next pod over was empty. The screen at the far desk was on, black terminal window, lines of pale text scrolling. Maybe someone had left a script running. I walked over, half curious, half wanting to turn the monitor off so it wouldn't burn in. Rule 7 floated up in my memory. If you see a logged-in session with no one present, do not touch the keyboard or mouse. Do not read what is on the screen. I didn't get close enough to read the text. The keyboard moved, not slid, not nudged by air. Keys depressed in clusters, as if invisible fingers were pressing them. The text on the screen scrolled faster. I put the rag down and backed away until my calves hit my cleaning cart. I reached forward and jabbed the monitor's power button with my knuckle. The screen went dark. The sound of typing stopped. I wrote in the log, "Desk cluster F3 monitor on, keys moving with no user visible, powered off via button, DC." I tried to convince myself it was some remote script. Halcyon probably had people logging in from home. Maybe I'd seen local echo. Maybe my eyes were tired. The reflections were worse. Everywhere you go on level 10, there's glass. Transparent partition walls, office fronts, that huge window on the city. Glass shows you yourself all night long. At 12:40, I was wiping fingerprints off a glass office door when I noticed my reflection blink. I hadn't. It was subtle, a tiny difference in timing. My hand moved, rag swiping left. The reflection's hand lagged half a heartbeat, then overcorrected, like a video conference with a bad connection. Rule 4. If you see your reflection moving out of sync with you, do not react. I went cold. I kept wiping, counting in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 19, 20, 21, 25, 26, 27. Just the level 10 chime, a shrill, cycling beep, and a red strobe on the wall near the elevator. I jumped, heart rabbiting in my chest. The panel by the elevator read, L10 sensor error. Rule 6. Press reset and keep working. I hovered over the button. Every instinct from every safety training said, leave, don't assume. Brush fires happen. Sprinklers fail. The building smelled like lemon cleaner and recycled air, not smoke. I hit reset. The beep cut off. The red light went steady, then dark. Silence rang louder. I went back to trash and tables. At 1:30, I passed 1007 for the first time. It's in a short side corridor off the main open area. 2 glass-walled meeting rooms on one side, 2 solid doors on the other. 1005, 1007. 1005 had a little nameplate, archive. 1007 had nothing but its number, Something about the door looked wrong, not visibly, just off. The frame seemed a millimeter narrower than the others. The handle hung half a degree lower. The paint absorbed light a little more than the wall. There was a trash bag sitting neatly beside the door. Black, tied, bulging. Rule 2. If a bag is left by the door, write it in the log and leave it. I wanted very badly to take it down to the chute. Having one full bag untouched felt like failing at my job. I wrote 1:31 a.m. A bag outside 1007. Left per rule DC, the bag shifted. Not from a draft. A slow, rounded bulge on one side, like something inside had changed position. I walked away. By 1:55, I'd done everything but the conference rooms and the elevator lobby. I checked my phone. 1:59. Rule 9. At 2:00 a.m. Exactly, you will stop whatever you are doing and stand in the elevator lobby, back to the glass wall. I pushed my cart to the lobby, positioned it by the elevator. The glass wall behind me showed the city skyline. In theory. In practice, at night, it mostly shows you. I stood at the line where carpet meets tile, feet shoulder width, hands still. My phone ticked over. 2:00 a.m. I turned to face the elevator doors, back to the glass. At first, nothing happened. Air conditioner hum. Faint buzz of electronics. The tiny, cyclical whine of the elevator machinery in the shaft. Then the light level changed behind me. Not brighter or darker, different, like a TV switching inputs. The office noise faded. In its place, I heard something else. Distant, overlapping voices, too low to make out words, like hearing a conversation through a wall. A soft tapping, like fingers on glass, behind my shoulder. I focused on the brushed steel of the elevator doors. They reflected a fuzzy version of my back, the cart, the opposite wall. For a moment, another shape stood behind me in the distortion. Tall, too close. I did not turn. I did not close my eyes. A breath grazed the back of my neck, not air from a vent. Warm, human. A voice right by my ear said very clearly. It felt like 10 minutes. My phone buzzed. 2:03 a.m. The temperature of the air snapped back to normal. The elevator doors stayed shut. I let out the breath I didn't know I'd been holding and moved. The rest of the night was almost anticlimactic. Conference rooms, last trash, a quick mop pass. I finished at 2:40 and sat in the lobby chair until 3:00, watching the elevator numbers go up and down for other people. At 3:01, I badged out on 9 and practically ran down the last flight of stairs. "That bad, huh?" Victor asked, when I dumped the level 10 log on his desk at the depot. "Your rules are real," I said. "All of them." The way Victor had said extra hours. "The third is you." I figured if they wanted him, they could find him without my help. "You call me from 9. I don't care if the trash isn't done. You want it." I learned which desks the ghost typing favored: cluster F3, desk D7, one in the corner near the server room. I stopped jumping at the alarm. Sometimes nights were almost calm. The weirdness would be small, a shadow flitting across a conference room wall with no one in it, a meeting room booked on the system but empty in reality, a chair slightly closer to the glass than I remembered. Other nights it was worse. Once I walked past 1007 and heard someone crying on the other side. Not loud, not wailing. Just that small, exhausted, hopeless crying people do when they're too tired to really sob. The trash bag was gone. There was a smear on the bottom of the door, dark, matte, in the shape of fingers. Rule 2 said do not knock. Sometimes the data vampires did late calls with other time zones. This one was different. The blinds were up as per policy. 8 people sat around the table, all in suits. No laptops, no phones, hands folded. They all faced the glass wall, not each other. The chair at the head of the table was empty. As I passed with my cart, one of them turned their head, a woman in her 40s, severe haircut, sharp cheekbones, and looked right at me. She smiled. Her badge was clipped to her jacket. The plastic was empty. No name, no photo, just a white card in a clear sleeve. Rule 5. Do not make eye contact with anyone present. Do not respond if they speak to you by name. "Daniel," she said, voice easily audible through the glass. "Could you come in here a moment? I've been instructed not to enter rooms with meetings after hours," I said. "I can leave a chair outside." They placed their palms flat, facing up. Something moved under the skin of their wrists. Thin cords like wires twitching. I grabbed the nearest chair, shoved it against the closed door, and walked away. In the log, 12:16 conf C, meeting present, no devices, all facing glass. One participant addressed me by name, empty badge, refused to enter, left chair outside. DC Halcyon never commented on any of it. Instead, they added rules. 2 months in, a new laminated sheet went up. Rev B Rule 14. If room 1003's door is open and the lights are off, do not close it. Do not turn on the lights. Do not speak into the darkness. If you hear your own voice answering you from inside, leave level 10 immediately via the stairwell. Has that happened? I asked Victor. He looked at me. Someone else wrote that rule, he said. Not me. I was at my dad's apartment, making him soup while he coughed on the couch and pretended he wasn't short of breath. Their building has an elevator too. Old, slow, walls lined with scratched metal. I got in on the ground floor, hit 6, and stared at my own tired face in the coppery reflection. Behind my head, the distorted metal showed the lobby, fake plant, mailboxes, bulletin board. For 3 seconds, it showed a different lobby. Sleeker, darker carpet, a glass wall, the faint outline of a white circle logo. I blinked. The image slid like an overlay. The fake plant came back. My stomach turned. That night on level 10, every glass surface felt closer. The reflections were sharper, more interested. At 2:00 a.m., when I took my position in the elevator lobby, the breath at my neck felt more familiar. Stay late, the voice said again. It sounded a little more like me. The thing that finally broke me wasn't the reflections or the voices. It was my dad's hospital bill. He had a flare-up in October, lungs this time. A week in ICU, then a stern lecture about compliance with treatment and stress. We argued about money, about him being a burden, about me working myself into an early grave. He coughed until he nearly passed out, then apologized for yelling. I just don't want you killing yourself over me, he said quietly. I made plenty of my own mistakes. You don't need to clean up after all of them. We sat in silence a while. On level 10 that week, everything was sharper. Every keyboard click felt like it was inside my skull. Every glass wall showed me angles I wasn't at. The city outside looked wrong. Different constellations of office lights, buildings taller than they should be. On Thursday at 1:50 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I don't answer unknown numbers. No one with good news calls at 1:50 a.m. It buzzed again. This time, the preview showed the first line of the text. We can pay your father's bill. I stared at it. Rule 13 echoed in the back of my mind. If you are unsure, leave via the stairwell. I didn't leave. I opened the message. We can pay your father's bill. You are underpaid. You are wasted. Stay past 3. A second message arrived. We will show you how to fix it. Another. The rules are to protect THEM, not you. My mouth went dry. I looked around. Empty office. Screens in sleep mode. That huge glass wall showing my hunched shoulders. Behind my reflection's head, in the faint outline of the city, white letters glowed on dark glass. Stay. I turned my phone off. At 2:00 a.m. I stood in the lobby. This time the breath on my neck came with hands. Not touching, not quite. A sensation of being measured, counting vertebrae. You're already breaking the rules, the voice said, closer. Almost amused. You're talking, I whispered. Rule 9 says you may close your eyes if you wish, it said. It does not say you may talk back. You still think they're us, me, and them, and you. You're adorable. Don't you want to stop adding up numbers in your head every time you look at your father's pills? The voice murmured. Don't you want to see how much different you could be if someone took all your constraints away? No sleep, no bills, just work that matters. What do you call scrubbing other people's desks? It replied. The doors closed without me moving. 2:03 buzzed. The hands withdrew. You'll say yes, it said softly. Eventually, they all do. There's only so many times you can be the poorest man in the room before you start wanting a different room. I told myself I could ignore it, that it was all in my head, that as long as I followed the human rules, I'd be fine. Level 10 learns. The logs started coming back with notes from halcyon facilities in red pen. No need to record routine sensor error. L10. They don't want too much recorded detail about their anomalies. Just note actionable items, spills, broken chairs, that sort of thing. You hear yourself. When you stop putting horrors on paper, they roll around inside you with nowhere to go. The last night, there was a new paper on the level 10 log table. Not laminated. Cheap copier paper, single-sided, held down with a mug. Halcyon Level 10. Experimental access policy. Night shift only. A stipend of $3,000 will be paid to any individual who completes a session, in addition to their regular wages. To be eligible, you must. If interested, please sign below. A representative will contact you. There were already 2 signatures. One I recognized, Lewis. He'd been begging Victor for extra work. Young, new baby at home, rent Spike. Of course he'd sign. The second was a scrawl I didn't know. My hand shook as I put the paper back under the mug. At 2:50 a.m., Halcyon's rep showed up. I didn't see him come up in the elevator. 1 second the lobby was empty, the next, he was standing by the glass, hands in pockets. Mid-30s, blonde, thin, pale, like someone who lives in server rooms. His badge had the Halcyon logo and where the name should be, research. Daniel, he said. I stiffened. Policies say we're not supposed to talk during meetings, I said. This isn't a meeting, he said. This is an opportunity. You'd be helping us with a study. Human factors in high-fidelity simulation. You'd be in no physical danger. We've been doing this with our own staff for months. I'm not allowed to discuss other participants, he said. Confidentiality. Everyone wins. We don't make offers people can't appreciate. My reflected face leaned slightly toward his, like I was whispering something. I'll pass, I said. I like my rules. If you change your mind, just stay on the floor at 3. The system will register your presence. I stood in the lobby, back to the glass, counting down the minutes until I could leave. The voice didn't speak this time. That scared me more. Silence means planning. At 2:40, I had only the elevator lobby left to mop. I checked the clock. 2:41. 19 minutes until I could ride down and never come back. I pushed the mop bucket to the corner, wrung it out, started on the far side, working in straight lines. Behind me, the glass wall continued to reflect the floor. At least it should have. At the edge of my vision, the reflection lagged. The mop head in the glass moved slower than the real one, then stopped altogether while my hands kept going. I told myself not to look. Rule 4, I failed. In the glass, the lobby was empty. No cart, no mop, no me. I turned my head fully. The real lobby was occupied by exactly one terrified cleaner with a mop. The reflection showed level 10 with no Daniel. The elevator doors, both sides, were closed. Slowly, the elevator in the reflection dinged. The doors slid open. A man stepped out, me. He looked wrong. His uniform was clean, brand new. His eyes were too bright, his posture was straighter. He stooped, picked up an invisible mop, and started cleaning a floor that wasn't there. "Stop," I whispered. He didn't. He moved in perfect patterns, never slipping, never missing a spot, like someone had taken my movements and smoothed all the human out of them. The phone in my pocket buzzed. Screen locked 0300. He put the mop exactly in line with the cart. He walked to the glass wall. Our eyes met across the divide. He smiled. It was the same smile I'd seen on the out-of-sync reflection weeks ago. He lifted his hand and placed it flat against the inside of the glass. On my side, the glass was cold. My hand twitched. My brain whispered, "Put your hand there. See what happens. Fix everything." Rule 13 screamed louder. If you are unsure, leave via the stairwell. Do not use the elevator. I dropped the mop. I left the bucket where it was. I ran, not to the elevator, to the stairwell door. For one horrible second, the bar didn't budge. Then it gave. I threw myself into the concrete stairwell, letting the heavy door slam behind me. The air smelled like dust and old paint and faint chlorine from the HVAC. All normal. I didn't stop until I hit level 9. There, I leaned on the wall and sobbed like a child, hands shaking, legs jelly. My phone said 2:46. I texted Victor, "I'm off 10. I'm done. I quit that floor. Fire me if you have to." He replied a minute later, "Get to street. Call me there." I did. He didn't fire me. We argued for days about the hours and the money and my dad's bills, but in the end, he moved me to other buildings. Less pay, no weird bonuses, more dust, fewer existential threats. Halcyon kept the contract. Someone else cleans level 10 now. Lewis stopped coming to the depot about a week after the experimental policy went up. Victor says he quit. I saw him 3 days ago. Not in person. On the morning news, in a B-roll shot about breakthroughs in predictive analytics. Halcyon's white circle logo in the background, blurred figures in glass offices. One of them standing in a level 10 doorway, talking to a blonde man in a suit, looked a hell of a lot like Lewis. Thinner, sharper, eyes brighter. His badge said research. I still clean at night. Different buildings, different glass. Every time I see my reflection in an office window, I make sure it moves when I do. If it ever lags, if it ever smiles first, I walk away. If you work nights anywhere with a lot of glass, offices, malls, hospitals, and someone hands you A list of rules that sound like they were written by a paranoid ghost. Don't laugh. If a client tells you one floor is special, take that seriously. If there's a particular room you're never supposed to enter, never curious it open just to see. If a voice standing right behind you offers to solve the exact problem that's been keeping you up at night, check the clock. If it's 2:00 a.m. and you're standing with your back to a window, because some rules say that's the safest thing to do, remember this. They're there to keep something bigger than you from making its own. And once you sign your name under theirs, they know exactly which side of the glass you're on.